Okay, let's start the show. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. I hope you guys are good. Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon. And then also Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. Tonight we are going to be doing a watch along of the Orlando Pirates match. Hopefully today I don't get banned. But we're going to be doing that tonight. So please check that out. Also, follow the pages on Facebook and also on YouTube, where you'll find all of the previous discussions that we've had, all of the different panels, and also some really cool other content that I do over on that side that is just a bit too long for TikTok. So join me there. If you're on Facebook and you're wondering, where do these voices come from that always jump on the show and speak about it and all of that stuff? You know, how do you join and add your voice? You have to be following me on TikTok. Join while I'm live on TikTok, and then a request button will show up when I say so, and you'll be able to jump onto the panel and lend your voice to the show. Oh, you can watch on Facebook too. It's also live there, and you can just watch the show from that side. Okay, guys. So last night we had a conversation about Kaizer Chiefs. There was a review that became a talk about coaches. And for me, generally what happens in South Africa is that we put everything onto the coach. You know, the coach is meant to be the scouter, the coach is meant to be the team developer, has to hire the back end staff, has to decide the structure of the team, the philosophy of the team, all of that stuff. And it got me thinking that how many of us actually know and speak about the PSL ownership and PSL people that run teams? I know I said owners over here, Typhos, but then it's going to be a mixture of the chairpersons and all those people, because the questions that we're asking today and what I want us to think about is, when we look at all of the teams, right, which teams are actually run correctly? Which teams would you say are proper? And which teams would you say are not as proper as maybe they should be? So that is the conversation I want to have today, because I think it's important that we expand what we think about our teams, and that it's bigger than Dan's coming to join my team, right? Is Dan's being supported structurally in the background by owners that are going to make sure that his style of play works, the things we want to do work, the players we're signing work, all of those things. And we tend to scapegoat the coaches because the coaches are obviously in the front, the coaches do the press conferences, we watch them on the games, blah, 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 all of that stuff. But there's plenty of people in the background that are sitting there, right? And we don't know them. And because we don't know them, I feel as though they get away with murder. So I'm going to open up the lines. Then we're going to do two things. To those who are brave enough, we're going to do two things. And one is going to be, we're going to rank ownership. We're going to speak amongst ourselves and rank ownership and management of teams. And then speak a little bit about them and the impact they have. So we'll do a top 10. We'll do a top 10 best run teams in the PSL. And this is now focused not on what's happening on the pitch, but what's happening in the back end. I see Piwe has already jumped in. I see KG's here, Supersport and Stellenbosch only. I see Sundowns and Supersport there. I wonder what Andile inputs during his chairman meetings. So guys, yeah, feel free to request. The request button is going to appear right now, just to refresh your memories. Just to refresh your memories, this is, I've chosen a representative for each club, right? And then we're going to then speak about it. So, Amazulu is Sandile Zungu. I believe the chairperson. Kaizer Chiefs is Kaizer Motaung Senior, and obviously Junior, Bobby, and Jessica. Orlando Pirates is Irvin, Khoza. Stanley Shabalala is still also there. Supersport is Kulu Sibia, if I'm not mistaken. Then Golden Arrows is Matuma Dlala. TS Galaxy, Tim Sugazi. Cape Town City, John Comitis. Sundowns is now Motsepe, officially. Stellenbosch is Rob Bernardi, who is the CEO of Stellenbosch, but we do know that one of the key owners of Stellenbosch is the richest man in Africa, Johan Rupert, whose company basically owns Stellenbosch FC. Then we've got Polokwane's Johnny Mokholadi. We've got Richards Bay as Utamabiela. We've got Chippa United as Chippa Mpengesi, possibly the most famous owner here. We've got Swallows, that's David Mkhashwa. Cape Town Spurs is Ari Efstathio. Skukuni United is Simon Malachi, and then Royal AM obviously is represented by Uchepesin Andy Lempisane. So let me open up. I'm seeing the requests here. Then we can have the conversation about PSL ownership. So let me bring in the guys. Okay. CJ, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
No, I'm okay, my brother. I'm okay. Today I want us to speak about ownership because I have a feeling that some of these owners get away with murder and the coaches are the scapegoats. What is your general thoughts, before we get into it, about PSL club ownership and management?
Look, I think we must differentiate as well in terms of what do we also mean by ownership. What are we talking about? Are we talking about ownership of the franchise, which then speaks to a lot of different business facets of the team, holistically, and then we can talk about the team on the pitch. Because
let's separate the pitch. So I want us to focus on the back room. I want to the staff, the management, the ownership on that side. I want to move away from the pitch for this conversation.
Yeah, well, then you must also understand that then it's difficult to put the coach in because he's not involved, in my understanding, on the franchise aspect of the team. You must understand branding of the team, stance of the team, following of the team, which actually is what generates revenue for clubs such as Kaizer Chiefs. And I think that is also what they use to get the sponsorships as well to come on board and businesses to be attractive to the team, to make the franchise attractive. And I think that is mostly the responsibility of the chairmen as well. That is to make the attractive to that are outside football to bring in money into the club so they may be able to do what they are known to do. And I think that is where the difference lies, is in I'm the chairman. I'm going to go out there, get what we need to get resource for you as a manager to do what I have employed you to do on the field.
So just in general, do you think that our chairmen, our CEOs, our technical directors, our backroom staff, do you think that they, in general, are they doing well in the league in reaching those goals?
I think that the two teams that I do follow, which is Chippa United, because I'm in the Eastern Cape, and Kaizer Chiefs because I love the team, then I do think that they do. Umpengesi does a lot of work behind the scenes. If you look at the Chippa United sponsor, I think they are the only team in the PSL that have the municipality coat of armor as part and parcel of their uniform. If you look at Chippa United, they've got the BCM, Buffalo City Municipality emblem on their arm, which is an official sponsor of the team. For him to be able to get those deals, I think he's doing a very good job as a chairman, because I see what he does. I actually see what he does, because I'm in the Eastern Cape. I see what he does. Both municipalities in the Eastern Cape, be it Buffalo City and Nelson Mandela Bay, the involvement of the team in the structure of BCM in the involvement of development structures between the sub-union of the province. I think
Okay.
he's doing quite well as a chairman. I give him thanks. I think that is why he's able to chop and change his coaches like nobody's business. He can break out of those contracts, and yet the team is not bankrupt because the man does his job very well in ensuring that there is finances for the club as well as a chairman. So I think so. I would judge a chairman if the team becomes bankrupt. Then that's where I'm coming to you as a chairman. How did the team become bankrupt? You know?
Okay. I'm gonna come back. Ronnie, welcome to the show. How you doing, my brother?
Cool bananas, man. How are you? And thanks so much today. There's no Chiefs involved. Hey.
You guys always say that, but when I speak about Pirates and the other teams, but they don't want to jump in. But it's fine. Ronnie, what do you think about ownership in general? Are teams in the PSL generally well run?
Yeah, there are a few of them, man. There are a few of them. Let's be honest. It's just the football itself is not up to standard, you know. But there are a few teams which honestly speaking, they have been run very well, you know. Teams like SuperSport, very, very, they run it very well, to be honest, you know. Take nothing away from Sundowns. Take nothing away from Chiefs. You know, I don't want to talk about Pirates, man. Pirates, there's something wrong there. There is something wrong. I'm a Pirates supporter, but there is something wrong. But if you take if we go pound for pound when it's how the best team is run, you know, Chiefs can take a number. Let's be honest. But there's a few things that they've changed now which I don't understand. And then Sundowns, the good thing that they did is to build the empire of themselves with people with knowledge and all that. You understand me? People who are behind in the boardroom. There are people who have knowledge, people who have played this thing, coaches, former coaches, and all that. So hence, it seems like it is taking a number because of that. You understand me? But I feel like the likes of SuperSport, they're taking the number. But Sundowns is, let me see, even Cape Town City, you know, Cape Town City, well structured, to be honest, well structured. Everything is up to notch and all that. So there are very few which have been run. You know, they are running successfully behind on the boardroom, which makes them to win even sponsors and all that. Remember, if your team is not well run, you won't see sponsors. Let's be honest, you won't. And another thing, you know, the finished product, it is in the field of play. But you say we must not go there. But that is the finished product. That is where we see the boardroom matters, you know, being resolved in the field of play. Whereby when they go in the field of play, everything, because the boardroom is sweet, everything is in place. So if the boardroom is sour and all that, you'll see in the pitch. You will see it in the pitch. There will be the crest will show in the field of play, whether you like it or not. That is the finished product, because after that we have to see it in the field of play. If players are not happy, because it means somewhere, somehow in the boardroom there's something wrong.
Okay.
If players do not perform, something is wrong in the boardroom. So I think there are few of the teams which have been, you know, honestly speaking, being run. But another thing that I'm having a problem is the very same guys who in the boardroom wants to coach and all that. That is where I don't understand. Because you have to go and look for somebody who's going to make your product to look to sell your product in a good way. That is a good coach, good players and all that. But we don't see that, because in the boardroom, these guys, they don't want to pay, they don't want to do this, late payments and all those. There are so many things which are happening. But if a good team has been run, you'll see it in the field of play. Clean as that.
Okay. Let me bring it up with you, Vane. How are you doing?
Hey, Shabalala.
No, Geshapo. Let me just clarify. When I say I want to take it away from the pitch, I don't want to talk tactics. I don't want to talk coaches today. Today we're talking about how well run are our PSL teams. So in general, do you think that our teams in the PSL are well run?
Well, honestly, not all of them. Actually, not even most of them are well run. Most majority teams in the PSL, they don't even have a director of football, someone who takes charge of the football perspective of the team. You, for instance, you go to a big club like Kaizer Chiefs. There's no director of football. Everyone, as long as you're a Motaung kid, you are directly involved in the team. For instance, Jessica Motaung is the sporting manager. I mean, marketing manager.
Marketing manager, yeah.
She has to deal with marketing stuff. Mara, Jiggy, you find her involved in the running of the football club. And that's where our football lacks. For instance, you look at the success of Sundowns, there's proper structures there. There's a director of football who has been appointed either overseas. It's this Dutch guy, I forgot his name. And then
Sundowns,
it's very few teams. You go to yes, that guy. So this PSL teams, they don't tend to have that structure, that particular structure, because everyone who's in the club wants to be involved in everything that's happening. And I wanna earlier on, there's a guy who mentioned Tabachi Pampenges. Now I tend to disagree for a chairperson to be directly involved in the doings of the club. Hence, you employ certain people, your team manager, your director of football, and everyone to take care of those things. Well, I understand. It's okay for these chairpersons to go look for business also and to get sponsored. I mean, after all, not only Chippa is being sponsored by the municipality. Almost all of these big teams in South Africa, the municipalities, they buy their football games. For instance, Game ya Sundowns, Le Pirates, MTN 8, Polokwane. Both teams are not from Polokwane, but that team was bought. I mean, that game was bought by the municipality of Polokwane, which is okay. But most teams in PSL, truthfully speaking, are not well run. As long as you see the chairperson taking charge of most things, then just know how things are structurally in the team. They're just wrong. Yeah.
Okay. No. I hear you, my brother. Sinjay, I'm gonna push the ranking question to the back a little bit because I want to ask. So, in terms of Chippa doing well as the chairperson, would you say that it's all in vain if you've got 39 coaches in 10 years? Isn't that part of what's meant to happen all the way through the club, commercially on one side, but also the football side? Is there a lack somewhere at Chippa United in upper management for the football end?
Look, I don't think so. I don't think so. There's a lot of clubs that came and left since Chippa United came. If you can count how many clubs have left the
Yes.
PSL being relegated, but Chippa United has been here for a team that bought status. They are still here. So I for the fact that they are still, I'm not so quite sure. I'm trying to look how many years has Chippa United been in the top flight football. But it's been a minute.
Yeah, something like that. No, is it? Yeah, something like that. But anyway, yes, go.
Yeah. Now let's ask how many teams in the PSL from the Eastern Cape that have been in the PSL for 11 years. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So there was Tata Parks, there was this, there was that. They never stayed that long in the PSL. For him to be in the PSL for 11 years, I'm giving him a round of applause. I am giving him a round of applause. In particular, when you are looking at a province that economically is one of the most poorest provinces in the entire South Africa. For you to have a team that is is in the PSL with no village. There's no Chippa village here. There's no proper structures that make the team to tick and make them top flight. But he's hustling. And I hear my friends saying, I'm not talking about games being bought here. I'm talking about municipality being actually invested as part and as a sponsor, not someone to buy games and give you money, to give the team money to sustain. You don't get that from any municipality. The Buffalo City is the only one.
And then the reason why I'm asking you is now I want to make it about the league itself. How many teams then are very good or well run commercially in terms of staying in the league and things like that, and maybe not going bankrupt? But on the pitch, we're not seeing it. Shouldn't we measure the owners by both those things? Because like you said, for example, with Chip, I'll just use Chip as an example, or whoever. Not too many teams have those facilities, villages and stuff like that. Shouldn't teams that have been in the league for 10 plus years have those type of things? And shouldn't we measure those owners by those things too?
For me, I agree. I agree partially with what you are saying.
Okay.
We should. No, we should. We really should. But again, now I'm speaking from understanding the context in which the team exists in.
Okay.
Which makes it the obstacles of actually getting there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? As far as housing and as in terms of development as a province as well versus other parts of the country. That is Utatumbengi is a bit of a nod to say, listen, dude, you've managed to do things that a lot of people have failed to do. You know, I critique him on the football side of the team. I critique him very heavily, but on the branding side of the team, I'm nodding to the guy to say, listen, dude, and the sustainability of the team. You've never heard Utatumbenge's team saying the players are striking because they never got paid.
Okay.
From the existence of the team, you've never heard such things. You've never seen a coach being fired by Chippa that is complaining about being paid. You've never seen a big let go by Chippa that is complaining about being paid. Hence why I'm saying I am nodding to the guy to say I must give props where props is due, and I'll critique him where critique is due. Do you get what I'm trying to say? For a team that is existing in the most poorest province in the country, not to have those issues of finances, that's why I'm saying no, man. I'll bow down to him. Yeah.
Ronnie, I want to come to you with the same question, because for me, I hear the conversations and arguments about financially and being in different financial situations and things like that. But surely after 10, 15 years, surely after 20 years, 25 years in some cases, surely at some point you have to look at these owners and say, but is your team progressing? Yes, commercially you're good. Yes, it's not bankrupt. Yes, it's still a going concern. Nobody's complaining about salaries. But if you're not progressing forward and getting better as a team, what are we in it for? Are we giving these owners a bit of are we letting them go in that regard?
Let's be honest, man. I think most of the owners, right? They run football as a business. You know, it's business wise. Just have money and all that. You know, they don't care about. You know. It's like saving the status. We tend to save the status. They can say we are competing, but back in his mind, he's saying, "I'm just save the status." There are coaches which are going into the PSL. That's to be told, even if you don't win anything, be in the top 8. That's the only thing that we're playing for. Be in the top 8.
Tafos, could you please just mute there?
Yes, there are teams like that. Save the status, be in the top 8. That's the mandate. as a manager, you need to be, or as a team owner, you need to have an ambition. Let's start there. I want to win the league. I want one trophy this season. I want two trophies this season. I want to compete. Others that are there just for business sake, to be there just to have a business for them to sustain their livings and all that. Simple as that. Hence, the contracts is that I don't have access to contracts, but I'm sure as much as Chippa is firing, as much as my brother here is, yes, the team has been there for a very long time, but I'm sure in his contracts there is a way to manipulate. If you lose 7 games, you are out. If you lose this, you are. I'm sure of that. Those coaches will never, even if they've signed 3 years, there's a mandate that he put in the contracts. There's a clause to say, this is what, if this happen, you out. If this happen, you're out and all that. Then when you sign, you are in for it. Simple as that. Then, if you say, who's this, then Dance was earning 170,000 rand, and you sign for 3 years, is Chippa going to pay the 170 times 36? I can't. Yeah, I'm I beg to differ. It's all about contracts, But I'm not Chippa in a way. He is running the team well because he's been there. He's one of the owners who saying my team must stay there. I want top 8. Simple as that. Even if it doesn't compete business wise, some of them is business. Hence today we're having a boring PSL because of this mentality of team owners saying, I want to be there, I want this. You know what? You have to be ambitious. You need to say, I want to win. I want to fill the stadiums. You know what? I want the supporters. I want to, as much as Chippa is the only team that's like, they're supposed to fill the stadium all the time. They are the only team. They're supposed to fill it. There is something that is being run wrong. Why I'm saying this, market-wise, marketing of the games and all that. You know what? In money, when it comes to these games, gate takings, they're very important. So if they're not getting gate takings, yes, you'll get money from the municipality. There are other people who are sponsoring you behind the closed doors and all that. That is the problem that we're having. It is money. Money is being washed. They are washing money. Most of them, they are washing money in this. Whether you are an NFD, whether you are a PSL, some of them, they're not ambitious. They're washing money because they're running soccer teams and all that. It's washing of money. Simple as that. Corruption. Let's not hide it. And I'm not quoting about Chippa. All the teams. All the teams. There are somewhere, somehow, where there is somebody who's washing money, bringing sponsorship behind the closed doors and all that. You are happy because if I stay there, the longer I stay, the more money I will earn, the more money I will get.
I'm gonna come back, Ronnie. Just a reminder, the thoughts expressed. Allegedly, everything is allegedly. KG, welcome to the show. How are you doing, my brother?
Good, and you?
No, I'm good. So I want to ask you the same question. After 10 years, after 15 years, and not just Chippa, a lot of other teams, shouldn't we be expecting that these teams should be working or should have worked towards having facilities, having other things down? I understand surviving and staying in the league is a big achievement for a lot of teams, but after so many years, man, shouldn't we expect those things? And also as the team, shouldn't we expect the team to move out of relegation zone or move out of top 11, top 12 and go into the top 8, go to win trophies and things like that? Are we letting these owners off the hook?
Yeah, I think actually all of them are failing somewhere, somehow. When you look at Chiefs with facilities and how they attract sponsors, they're winning that part. And you don't know why are they winning that part while on the field they don't win. So when you check other teams like Chippa United, they're failing everywhere. They didn't. There's nothing that you can take Chippa and say, I'm going to go and have a sponsorship and say, I'm selling this to you. Give me funds as a sponsor, then I'll write you on a T-shirt. Chippa Mpengezi, he got those municipalities because he was tendering those municipalities. So it's a favor somewhere, somehow. It's not like he worked very hard for that. So that's why now we can't have a real sponsor outside those municipalities. So when you check, even with Chiefs, I think they failing to hire someone that will concentrate more on the football side. But the other things outside football, they're doing very well. And Sundowns, because of the money that they have, they only concentrate on the football side. They also don't attract those big sponsors for themselves. So in any way, how some of them they concentrating on certain things, some they will concentrate on only development because they want to sell. Some of them they're just concentrating on staying on the league. Like even now, Golden Arrows, how long have they been there? They've been there for many years. But when you check where are they going, what's their ambition, you don't know what's their ambition. They just stuck there in the PSL and they're not doing anything much. Even like Stellenbosch, you can rate Stellenbosch higher than Golden Arrows right now. Because Stellenbosch, even you can tell now what they're doing. The fans, when you go there, when teams like Chiefs and Pirates are playing in Stellenbosch, they attract fans in their development. They are developing, so they're doing something. But with other teams, they just stuck there in PSL. That's for those fans they're getting from the DSTV.
Okay, no, thanks, KG.
So I think most of them, yeah.
Oh, okay. No. Finish that point.
Because I'm saying when we rate them, it will be very hard because some of them on the other part they're doing well, but on the other part they also failing dismally. So
okay, Typhus, welcome to the show. How are you doing? You can just unmute there, Typhus.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing, Typhus?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Hey, I think we're having some network issues.
I'm good, I'm good.
Oh, I think we're having some network issues there. Let me bring in somebody else. Apologies, Typhus. You could try again. When I cycle, we'll go back. Kumo, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you, brother. And how's everyone?
No, I'm good. I think the panel's okay. Tell me, what do you think of us rating some of these guys? Not to say that you have to have the best of the best, but shouldn't after 10, 15 years, we see some progression within your team?
Well, then again, like we have to ask ourselves, what is the bar? What are we judging these teams on? Like I said in my comments, a team that wins the league but fails in CAF and its managers to win CAF might be seen as a failure, whereas a team who was supposed to achieve and survive relegation and achieve their mandate was seen as success. So again, what is your criteria?
I think my question is, you've been fighting relegation for 10 years or 5 years or 7 years, right? At some point, shouldn't we ask the owners, guys, like you're just existing. You're not just existing. Every year you're fighting. Shouldn't we see progression in some way? Shouldn't we see progression in your facilities and things like that? I want to separate it a little from the big teams, but even them, okay, Kaizer Chiefs, you've got the facilities, you've got the sponsors, you've got the monies, but you haven't seen CAF Champions League for 10 years. Shouldn't we see progression in what they're doing? That's the crux of my question, because it feels as though there's a lot of teams that are just there. So after 10 years of Chippa, shouldn't we expect that you should have a training ground for each Chippa? After 10 years, the Golden Arrows has been around for a very long time. Shouldn't you expect, you get what I mean? It goes with each team, but the question is, what is the progression of your team?
Obviously, I understand the question now correctly, but then again, it's also boils down to affordability and money. Let me tell you why. Some teams pick their battles. So I'm gonna use the relegation analogy again. I'm pretty sure every chairman and every player would like to get a league or win a cup now and then. But then they know, like, in order for you to actually compete with the big boys to achieve a cup or to be on par commercially, you need money. and sometimes you don't have sponsors. So for now, you're just gonna do what you do best and hope for the best until someone gives you a lifeline.
But isn't that, it's cool for 2 years, but now it's been 10 years. Isn't that a problem that managements and ownership are meant to be solving? So if we don't have finances year 1, year 2, year 3, surely part of the strategy has to be, hey guys, we need to figure out how to get more money in order to do X, Y, and Z. But now we find that a team has been financially struggling for 9 years, 10 years, 8 years. And it's like, guys, management, ownership, do you guys want to do this? Do you guys have a plan? Or is it just about survival? And part of the problem is that I think we have a lot of teams that are just surviving.
And that is the unfortunate truth. I mean, like, commercially, like you look at a club like Bloemfontein Celtics, you would argue that they had the biggest supporter, the third biggest supporters amongst the big two in Soweto. But then again, management also is a problem. Okay, fine, management can implement those changes, can have plans and strategies every day, but all of those plans won't matter unless someone really comes on board. Understand? So you end up that the team gets gets bought by another team to keep their status, because that team, I'm pretty sure they don't want to sell, but they have to sell because they can't afford to maintain the team. The money that they get from the PSL as grants is not enough to sustain. And we know how ticket sales are very low unless you're playing Chiefs in this country. So yeah, man, so maybe these teams, bro, we're just giving them a hard time, for nothing, because at least they're trying to keep their status here in the PSL by doing these mediocre mandates for them. It keeps on working for them, which is fine, but it's also a bad thing for us and the progression of football in our country. But it's for now, it's what they can do just to remain afloat.
Sinjay, I want to come to you quickly. When we speak about these teams, is part of the reason that Kaizer Motaung is chairperson, then Kaizer Junior is sporting director, Bobby is MD, Bobby Motaung, Jesinka Motaung. Then you have Amazulu, Sandile Zongo, Ubab Sandile Zongo is the chairperson, then the CEO, I believe is his daughter, if I'm not mistaken. Then you have Rulani AM that is owned by Mamkhize, chairperson is Lu Andile. And not to say that they're all doing badly, but isn't one of the issues that there comes a time where there needs to be turnover, where you need to go, hey guys, I'm looking at how you've performed, I need to get rid of you. And because it's family businesses, it doesn't happen.
Okay. I don't want to be funny, but anyway, who said that they're not doing well? That's my problem.
Who said what?
I'll make an example, Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'll make an example. Chiefs has not won a trophy for 9 years. Ne? But that has not impacted the value of the club.
Okay.
In terms of its famousness, in terms of its impactfulness, in terms of its attractiveness. The lack of silverware at Kaizer Chiefs has not dented them so much that they are struggling to be attractive. Why is that? It is because of the management. It is because of the how the team is being run in a state of poor performance. How many teams can we say if they do not win the PSL league or any silverware for 9 years, they will still get they will still, one, keep their following, two, be attractive so much that businesses, they don't need businesses, they still get multi-billion rand deals. Why is that? Because the team is still valuable in its state of not being silverware. So that is why I am saying, probably that is why Mr. Motaung keeps his daughter and his family and his children there, because they've been raised there. They are there. Chiefs is them. been there, they've been raised there, they know how everything works. There was the glamour days, they know how it feels like, they know what it's supposed to be like. You can't, I always make an example of these people. If your family is rich, you will first learn to drive in a Ferrari. You get what I mean? Without even working hard for it. Some of us will have to work hard to even drive a Ferrari. If your parents are rich, the first time you get into a drive it would be a Ferrari. Unlike us, the first time you get into a drive a car, it's a Toyota Tez. And you have to go, you know, they have been raised in that animal that is Kaizer Chiefs. You know how it works. You employ a person that does not know this franchise, or somebody who knows the franchise.
But isn't it, I think my question goes to, okay, marketing, we've ticked the box. Jessica, you've met all your KPIs. Let's talk about sporting director, Kaizer Jr. Kaizer Jr., you haven't met your KPIs. Ne? But
I disagree with that.
No, I'm just saying,
I disagree with that.
In terms of the pitch. So now we're talking about the pitch. So in any normal team, let's say it's not a family-run team, part of your job as sporting director, as technical director, is to go, okay, guys, you know, Kaizer Chiefs, it needs to be at the top. These are the resources we have. This is how we must capitalize on those resources on the pitch. So let's say we want to be, we want the Champions League in 5 years' time, let's say. Let's say that's one of the KPIs. Then if in 5 years we don't have that thing, a normal company would look at you and go, "I'm my guy, as in, we gave you your KPIs, we had your yearly things, right? Now it's time for us to reckon with you and maybe punish you for some of this stuff, or not punish, but you have to reckon with this thing. Jessica's doing well. Jessica got a scappa. Here's scappa, it's signed. But we're still, we haven't seen Champions League even. So is it harder then for Kaizer to go, isn't that part of the problem that Kaizer can't go to Kaizer Jr. and say, Yazdin, I'm letting you go, bro. I'm going to go get somebody who's better at what you do, you know?
I would say, when Kaizer Motaung came in as a sporting director at Chiefs, there was a lot of change that I saw at Kaizer Chiefs. There was a direction at Kaizer Chiefs. There was direction in terms of players coming in. There was a good direction in terms of players going out. I listened to Rob Moore when he was speaking to Robert Murawa about the issue of Blom. You know, that's why I realized that I'm going to stop listening to tabloids, because all we read was that Kaizer Chiefs does not want to extend, does not want to give the boy money. And when I listened to Rob Moore, it was a clear directive. The sporting director, Kaizer Motaung, said to Rob Moore, change Jabulo Blom overseas. We don't want to hear anything about it. We don't want to hear any excuses. This player, he must play in Europe. He must play overseas. Go find him a deal. And then he kept on saying, what if I don't find him? What if I find him? He kept on having a clutch. And Kaizer Chiefs took the clutch, go and find him a team. There you can see with clear plan in terms of players that are developing Kaizer Chiefs to say that we don't want any Itumeleng Kune who's going to have another 100 caps from development. You come from development, you play Chiefs, and then you move and you go play overseas. That is the time. Now we are seeing that again. When last did you see players coming from the development into the first team?
I think that's not necessarily what I'm fighting. What I'm fighting is you can do whatever you want. So Kaizer Jr. has carte blanche to do whatever he wants. But if he doesn't reach his KPIs, is that decision to move him on or to get somebody better or somebody who does that for a living actually going to be made? And how does that influence the rest of the clubs who also function pretty much like that? Whereas, at Sundowns, Komphela is chairperson. When it's good, it's great. When Komphela is chairperson, but the technical director knows that if I mess up, Bobby came out and told us that he didn't apply for this job. He didn't put in a CV. Yeah. You get what I mean? So when he's messing
up. I think if let's take Bobby for instance. When he was messing up, his father came in and says, "Okay, let me hold the reins again. for him to learn again from me, because he has faith in his children, because they've been raised from this. They are the ones, they know the animal. So I think when they do wrong, there is ways and methodologies of fixing it. I'm a strong believer in not getting rid of someone. I'm a strong believer in working with someone. I'm a strong believer in transforming someone if you have the necessary tools and believe. If the person, that is why I didn't like it when Arthur Zwane was moved to being a coach, because I can stick with him, because we can clearly see there's something that we want to do. Let's work on it. Let's perfect it instead of throwing him away under the bus like we are doing with other coaches as well. Maybe because I like that.
Let me bring it to Ronnie. Ronnie, same question to you. How much does the family dynamic play into the PSL? It's not just Kaizer Chiefs. A lot of the other teams are family-based. You'll find chairperson is the father of CEO or the father of technical director and stuff like that. How much does that play into the progression of our teams and the decisions that are made within the teams in the PSL?
Man, I think some families they are. It's just to say, let's look at Royal AM. You know, do you feel that family can run a team? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Chiefs, they've been there for a very long time. But what do you call it, Royal AM, man. Come on, man. You know, you can see this thing is all about. There is something behind to say we are generating money. There is a money within. It's not OT. They're running a team because of love of football. You know, if we can have a family that loves football and understand football, that family is going to be the team is going to progress. Wow, and all that. Think about it. This team, the Royal AM, when they started to came, we all say, hey, we want to see. Hey, look at them now. Struggling as hell because they don't understand football. Football is not in their veins. About and all those things. Take that team back to Bloemfontein, sell it to the people of Bloemfontein. Bloemfontein must continue. Simple as that. Because some of them, they don't have anything within football. In their veins, there's nothing. There's nothing. Like
but what's stopping
even
them?
a drop of football blood in their veins, nothing. It's just Djibouti. We are running a football team, blah blah. Washing of money. I'm still saying, one day this thing will come out. Even Royal AM, something will come out one day.
But shouldn't we judge them? Apart from that, shouldn't we judge them for then all of the teams? Shouldn't we judge them for them saying, why aren't you hiring the right person? Right, outside of the footballing things, I feel like we let them go a lot of the time because it's like, hey, this is the team, this is who owns it, let's leave it. But we're not asking questions of why aren't you hiring the right people? I'm sure all across the world, the big teams and other teams are owned by families, but they understand that maybe you should be an honorary chairperson. And then under you, we'll fill it out properly. Kaizer Chiefs, right? Bobby, Kaizer Junior. We've seen you guys. We've tried you guys. How about we bring in somebody, even if it's somebody to mentor you or whatever, but we bring in somebody who can take over that specific part of the business while you learn from them. All over the league. Why aren't we seeing those type of things? Is it back to the question? Is it again this family thing?
The thing is, one, I feel some other they don't understand that football. You can own it, but supporters they are very 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 vital when it comes to the team. You know, if you fair enough, why do you have to own 100%? If you own 100%, obviously we won't say anything. You understand me? Hence, some of the teams they own 100%, because if they sell 49% of their shares, there will be somebody on the board who's supposed to say, the board of directors of the trustees to say, wait, this is not how we have to run it and all that. You know, there'll be division. But now there's no division because these teams, most of them, they're 100% being run by one family. So that is the problem that we are having. If they start to understand to take care of their supporters, to say their supporters are the one who are bringing the other revenue, you know, supporters are very vital because gate taking, as much as said, e-keeper, what's in track suits and all those things, it is because of supporters. But those supporters, they are part of the team when you want them to come and support you play. Why can't you one day open up and say, I'm selling my shares? I'm selling shares for all the supporters who are ready to come and buy. So now the supporters will have a right to say, this is how we want the team to be run. Same as Bloemfontein. Bloemfontein were most, I think 30% of the shares were sold to the supporters. Hence they had a voice when it comes to those things. They had a voice to say, we want the team to run like this. We want the team like this. But to go in the doors and to say we don't want who, we want this, want that, because they had shares. So these teams have been run 100%. The Golden Arrows has been run 100%. That doesn't get sponsors so easy. They won't get sponsors easy. Like Mantu has been there for a very long time. She's supposed to be one of the top ladies now in the Premier League. But because she's running based on Mama will run it. Those guys Abu Mabuti, Mama wait. You understand me? Is the team being run properly? If not, why not? It is because there is on the boardroom, there's something wrong which is taking place. And I told you when I say in the boardroom, if everything is okay in the boardroom, you'll see it in the field of play. But if the boardroom there's chaos, it is not being properly run and all that, you'll see it in the field of play. And I'm telling you, the likes of the same Chippa, the Royal AM, the Golden Arrows, one day they will be relegated and they will never come back into this league. One day is coming. There will be, because why? They've given a chance for a very long time. And I want to tell you, teams are improving every day. They're improving themselves every day. You understand me? But other teams are not even improving themselves. It's been run the old way. Change. Once you want to talk about Liverpool, and you're right. I went and Googled it. Liverpool, for them to take a U-turn, it was because they said, no. This Liverpool has been in this mud for 10 years. Why can't we change? And then they change everything. They change the whole office. They change the whole office. They change even the furniture in the office. They change the paintings, but change everything. They brought new stuff and all that. They clean up. And then they say, we don't want the old guys. Go away. Let's bring all the young ones. Come and sit in the boardroom. Let's see what you can do. And then they went and to go to who's this? The very same coach. They went when in Germany when he was too hot. They brought him in, and look what happened. They were this those to win the league. They won the Champions League and all those things because of the changes. So teams in SA needs to change. Abore putsani imboni last lapha adli voros uhlezi lapha phezulu obhekele ntwana le. So
let me jump in. There are Mararone, Mangbage Linky, man. Okay, I'm gonna come to you. How much does family dynamic play into this? Because, like Kusinja was saying, you stick with your son, your daughter, you let them run this thing, and not to say all of them are bad, but let them run this thing. Isn't there a time when these guys are meant to go, you know what, guy, you're not doing your job, let's go find somebody? Excuse me.
I think it depends on those kids. Like now we see with Jessica. Jessica has been developing from back in the days. You can see now the maturity. Now he has the knowledge. She has the knowledge about how marketing does and what he's doing at Chiefs. And only we keep some of the sponsors because of her. It's not that because of the fielding is not going well. Actually, what they've done on the field is really killing Chiefs. The sponsors that we lost is because of what's happening in the field. And we can I can only blame Bobby because Bobby has how many years? More than 20 years he's been there, Chiefs, and he never even went overseas to check. Maybe go to Barcelona, go to Real Madrid, ask how the admin side of Chiefs is done, football part. What if I'm a football manager at a certain team? What must I do? He had a plenty time to do that. But now he's outshined by Jessica because Jessica, he has now resources, he knows the knowledge about the marketing.
Yes.
So right now, the problem is that we can give to those kids, but only if they're also willing. They're willing to learn the game. They're willing to see other teams what's going. Because now the progression of Chiefs, it's been stopped and it's been blocked by Bobby. That's why you're not going forward. And I really don't understand the other thing of they say when the sponsors they don't come on board. It's about you, a team, to go. You must go and sell yourself so that you can acquire those sponsors. Go to Discover and say, I have this project and I need your sponsorship so that you can get those funds. The winning of teams in PSL, we can't blame the money always, but you are the ones who should attract the sponsors as a team.
Okay, no, thanks.
But you can't attract the sponsors by firing and hiring coaches now and then. You need to have a big project.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I think we just lost each other there. Yeah, I think we just lost each other a bit there. Didn't hear that last part.
Yeah, I think it's my network is acting up now. No, I'm saying it's about them you must go and attract the sponsors. You must go knock at their doors, ask for those sponsors. It's not like you're sitting there and waiting for sponsors and say, no, we don't have sponsors. Until when? If you don't attract those sponsors, change whatever you're doing. That means whatever you're doing, it's incorrect. You are missing a point somewhere. But you must do something. Like even with Chiefs, because of how they were playing back in the day and the style that they had, that's how they attracted the sponsors back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sipho, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Hi, no, Spilile. Tell me, how much does this thing, Yoguti, my children are running the team, and it's not just Kaizer Chiefs. I wanna just say that there's a lot of owners and children that are running teams, and how much does that affect the team, especially when things are going wrong? Uti, hey, at some point, Melufaya Romuntu Pat, because Umtaname or things like that, we don't do those things. How much does that affect EPSL?
You know what, my brother, and you are the panel. The problem is that as Africans, we got the opportunity to run, to feel that we are running something when we got the opportunity of running a football. Then we copy these things of white guys who adopt their kids to their same industry, and you work for them. Like my boss is now the son is gonna be in charge when the boss retires. They groom him to be what he's supposed to be. The problem is that in football, you can groom a son, fine, you don't have a problem with that. But the problem is that uma umgruma lo mfana noma le ingane zakho to run the club, do you groom them to see changes ayenzakalayo outside? Because now, if you can check, the football is changing. It already has changed worldwide. Look at our club who were big, way back. Look at Man United. They still stick to one formation or one sort of rules or something. But look how it happened. What's happening there? They get a good coach whatsoever, but maybe there's one piece on a puzzle that is missing. Then back to drawing board. Coming back to South African football, here I will tell you, my brother, I will simply count maybe 3 clubs or 4 clubs that are in love of football. That they are whatever they are doing in the football, they're doing with wholeheartedly. Mamelodi Sundowns, Cape Town City, Stellenbosch, SuperSport. Those 4. The rest are money laundering, Baba. I'm sorry to put that way. The rest is money laundering. They want, as the guys said before, they just stayed on the PSL because of they want to get the money and the sponsors and stuff. You see, Kaizer Chiefs worked. Kaizer Mduduzi worked before. He worked. He wasn't alone. He wasn't with his family back then. They're winning trophies and stuff because they get the proper people to run the club. Now, the problem is everything is run by the family. So when things run by the family cannot hear the opinions of the outside.
Okay.
You see, then that's where the problem starts. You see, if maybe Kaizer Chiefs can hire maybe take Bobby out and hire the right person for that. Take a Kaizer Junior out and hire make them the assistant. If you don't want to chase them away, leave Jessica. Her department is working very well. That's why Chiefs is today. Chiefs, whatever sponsor that they get, even that sponsor gets richer because of Kaizer Chiefs. You see, that means his marketing is on point, 100%. But compared to here on our side, what's going on the field? Then that's a problem of those managers that are there who are family who will tell you that this is my business, this is a business, family business. Nobody can tell me what to do or how to run my family business. Then it's affecting the club, and it's going to affect not only Kaizer Chiefs, many clubs. You see now, I'm telling you, one club that is run by the family, once it's relegated, it will never come back. I was telling one of the presenters, one of the radio stations that we were complaining about Kaizer Chiefs. I was telling them that once Kaizer Chiefs go to the relegation, they will never come back. They will never
League
come
won't
back.
allow that.
That's why League won't allow that, because they know that League, once Kaizer Chiefs go there, even the league will go down. So that is why they know they are comfortable on making money. I heard the rumors, I don't know what it was true, that they wanted to buy a soccer seat. See, if maybe it was true, and then maybe they progress in buying that soccer seat. Tell me how much money they're going to make Kaizer Chiefs. They're going to be the richest club in South Africa.
Okay.
They're going to be on the top something richest club in Africa.
Yeah.
Due to what? That money that they're gonna make in those sponsors, including their own stadium, you see how much they're gonna make. So it's telling you that their focus has shifted from loving football. It's way back to the business. They're focusing on how we run the business now, but the football business, not football. Ngiyabonga,
Okay.
yiloko nje.
No, ngiyakuza. Ngibongile. No, you see, guys, that's why I'm asking the question, because even in those companies that are where the owner leaves it to their son, everybody knows. If you've ever worked with one of those companies, you know who's really running. There's usually somebody underneath who's really running things, who's really making everything happen. And, you know, it goes back to that conversation we had about coaches and things like that. Fine, I want my son to run this thing, but am I putting them in a proper position in order to do it? Am I making sure that the things are getting done? You know, I hear everybody saying that it's a business and running it like a business, but if you are well and truly running things like a business, you could make a lot more money doing things the right way. Is this the argument I have here every single day? That if you do things properly, look at Jessica. For example, I'm going to use Jessica for example, and this is not with any knowledge of what happens behind the scenes, but she does her marketing job so well that even when sponsors jump off, she understands how to get the sponsors, right? Whether it's her, whether it's a team or whoever, they understand, they know how, they're that good that 8-year trophy drought, but you could still get a very big sponsorship deal, a very big kit deal, a redefining kit deal and all that stuff, right? So it's one of those things where I always argue on here that thinking business is not what these teams are doing. That's not what these teams are doing. And I want to move it away from Kaizer Chiefs only. A lot of the teams in the PSL, it's not good business. If Chippa United was number 8, that's great business. If Chippa United got to a final, remember TS Galaxy winning in 2019, that could be incredible for TS Galaxy. You getting into Confed could be incredible for your team going forward and the business of your team. But if you carry on doing these things, we can't call it good business because it's not good business. Typhus, I'm going to come to you. How much is this dynamic of having family members in key positions, having family members that are not held accountable for certain things, how much is that plaguing our PSL clubs?
My brother, that's affecting us a lot. That's affecting us a lot. Just look at what is happening now. Apart from what Kaizer Chiefs is doing, let me leave Kaizer Chiefs alone. We have Sundowns, okay? Sundowns does not want to rely on family. I understand he just put his son there to be in charge. Yes. But if there are a lot of
Hey, Typhus, I think the network is playing around there again.
Have experience behind closed doors. They don't consider the former players to be involved, to play part a lot there. They want Bobby to run, putting the face of the director. Who is that boy? I forgot his name. Okay, Kaizer Chiefs in front. Why are they not using the likes of the Khoza, the Mokis? They only use them to advertise the new kit. They don't want them to talk. They don't want to give them chance to say something. They look at the race, we have them. They are chiefs as good legends, understand? But they're not using them. Now these small teams, they just come in and hit Kaizer Chiefs like that. But one thing that I can tell you, there is not club in the PSL which does not have a good chairman. The only thing which makes them to be different is the competition there. There's a lot of competition there. There's a great competition. You can't just come in and be the best. All these Chippa United, the Zumbus and all this, they all have a strong desire of being the best champions in the league. But you can't do that. That's a business, a competition there. You understand? Super Sport is a brand itself. You talk about Stellenbosch, you're talking about John Rupert. You understand? Obviously, there will be people who will be working to impress them. There's joint committees. Just look at the standard, the quality. You understand? So I cannot say you can run a club while you don't have a desire in your heart to do that. I understand these things of money laundering and money washing and all this stuff. I understand that. But all those guys are big dogs. Ne? Look at Tim Sukazi. He's an agent. He's a player agent, that guy. You won't ask where did he get the money to have a club. That's none of my business. But he's running his TS Galaxy very well. He hired a smart coach. You understand? We need that coach in Kaizer Chiefs. You understand? Just look. When you want to have something, you want to have a club which will run very well. You need to make sure that you start at the back. You can't say okay. Likely before Kaizer Chiefs becomes whatever it is now. Motaung himself, the chairman, used to go to the stadium. He used to be there on the stands. The likes of the Jamupules were impressing him, making sure that he is happy. But now that culture is gone because he no longer goes to the stadiums. He goes there sometimes. Chiefs won't be the same as it was. Pirates have this guy, Star. He's there every day. Every game he's there. These guys, they believe that is their father. So they play wholeheartedly, if you can hear what I'm saying. So in Sundowns, there's a lot of people like that. We have Mambush, we have everyone, Surprise Muriri. You check the legends, the Nyandoros are there. Hence, they are doing good because each and everyone who was good in a certain department is still there to motivate. From the goalkeeping department, all those previous goalkeepers are there. You understand? So we cannot be blaming Royal AM. Okay, let me talk about Royal AM. Royal AM, they came there for Pensinet. They started in a good foot. Yes, everyone saw that. They started to display money and all that stuff. But they lost it because their players are no longer playing for passion. They're now playing for money. They want to get something. Then you lose quality when you start doing that. Understand? So let's not say the desires of the chairmen they are different. They all want to reach the same goal, but it's different because of competition. Yes,
Okay.
that's what
Okay,
I'm
no,
trying to say to you.
I hear you, my brother. I hear you, my brother. Mpoza, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you, my brother?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. So, same question to you. How much is family dynamics playing into our PSL teams and them not progressing?
You know, my brother,
I think you just need to
the
come closer a
vision.
little bit. I don't know. You sound very low.
I'm saying the vision
There
of
we go.
the club long time ago was good. Now you tell to come and help. They don't have that vision that you used to have. Kaizer Chiefs, the owner, he built the team. He actually built the monster. Can check Chiefs everywhere you go, the whole Africa. When they talk about Chiefs is playing, the whole Africa want to watch because of Chencha Guluva. He built the monster. But now he's old, yes. He's trying to give that vision to the kids, but they're not taking that thing serious. Remember the guy, he struggled to build that thing. Those guys, junior and all stuff, they just come from women. They don't have that vision. You understand?
Boza, are you still there? Hey, is it me? Guys, can you hear me?
Maybe network here.
Hello?
Yeah, I think in network. Hey,
Hello?
Boza, I'm going to take you off because it seems as though we're having a bit of problems. But guys, I just want to jump in. Like, that's why I think we have to have conversations like this. And for me, it's not even necessarily about someone must lose their jobs or somebody must be fired or all that stuff. I have two basic questions. In the PSL teams, when something goes wrong, how are the people within the team held accountable? Right? So, Kaizer Chiefs has been trophyless for 8 years now, for example, right? What meetings are being held with who and who is being held accountable? Because in a non-family team, right, you'd probably find, all right, if I go 5 years, here my, or maybe the other question is, do they want those things that we're speaking about? Maybe my KPI for Kaizer Junior or whoever is for them to win the league. But then their own thing that they've discussed within the team is completely different to us, right? But then that's again, do we question management and say 8 years, guys, why aren't we doing some other things? That was the first question. My second question is, I understand, guys, about finances. I understand about money, resources, sponsorship, and all that, ne? But surely, after 10, 15 plus years or whatever, however long certain teams have been in the league, surely we then have to look at them and say, okay, guys, 10 years yonke. 10 years relegation. Every single season we're fighting relegation. Why aren't you guys thinking to yourselves or coming up with strategies that are going to fix this thing? You get me? We haven't had a sponsor for 4 years now. Why aren't we coming up with strategies to go get sponsors? Why aren't we hiring people that can go get us sponsors? With all of the experience we had, with all of these 10 years, 15 years, whatever, why don't we have a team training village? Right? Now we're 15 years in. Why don't we have a place where the team is going to train? You know, these are some of the questions where I go, these are the conversations we need to be having, because all this time we love to leave coaches out to dry, to hang them out to dry for decisions that they have no business being a part of. A coach should not determine your style of play. There's a management that's meant to sit down and say, as Richards Bay, we want to play like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we want to play like. This is what we want to do in the next few years. Then we can go, you know what? We want to put the ball on the floor. who are the best coaches to put the ball on the floor? Okay, there's 10 there's this one, there's this one, there's this one. That's our pool of coaches. We picked them because it's in line with what we wanted to do. We hired a technical director. I made the example yesterday of Manchester City. Manchester City didn't just bring Pep, right? Pep, his technical director is Chicky Bergestan. He comes from Barcelona. So when Manchester City made the decision that, guys, we want this to be the identity of the club, and we're looking at these coaches and this and this and this, you do it holistically. And you say, okay, fine, our technical director is going to come in and he's going to make sure that in the back, we are moving in a certain direction. We're moving towards that direction. Then when Pep does what he needs to do in the front, his job, it matches. But now tell me, today you've hired Brendan Schroeter. Tomorrow you've hired Khoza. Tomorrow you've hired Upeni. Tomorrow you've hired Utentens. The next day Ernst Middendorp is walking through. The next day this person. You're telling me that if it's up to the coaches, all 6 of these things must change every time a coach comes in. Instead of going, we want to play helicopter football, I'm going to bring in Ernst Middendorp. We don't know how to spend money. Let me bring in a coach that can do well with little resources, Super Sport with Gavin Hunt, Bidvest with Gavin Hunt, or whatever. Let's bring in guys that understand what they're trying to do. But we have to start looking up at the managements of our clubs, guys. We have to start looking at them and asking questions of them too. Who's the director of football at Kaizer Chiefs? What have they achieved when they've been there? What have they done before that? What experience do they have? We spoke about the technical director of Fleming with Sundowns. I think Fleming comes from Ajax or Barcelona. I forgot which one, but it's from one of the big teams. So they went, for us to be a very big team in Africa, let's go get guys that do that and can mold the team to be that. Outside of Rulani, outside of Mangoba, outside of Steve Komphela. So they're making it possible for the coaches to be successful and the team to be successful. But the question for me is accountability within the club. How do we hold people accountable? And is it easier to hold people accountable when they're family? And it's not to say that all of them are bad. There's people that do their jobs, and that's fine because you're doing your job. But when the job is not done, who gets held accountable? What does that accountability look like? Are we bringing in other people? Look at Sundowns. Topi is chairperson, son of Motsepe, ne? But under him is a lot of competent people that do their jobs. So it's those type of things that my questions are, guys. I'm looking at the time. Ronnie, can you give me your closing statements for today?
No, man. I feel like teams need to, you know what, they need to start to be ambitious, when it comes to the league. Not wishing of we want to stay in the league. That's for me is weak ambition. Let's stay there for your own benefit and remember the feelings and the emotions when it comes to football. There are people who travel from Cape Town to watch a game in Polokwane. That effort. But you as a front runner, a team owner, you're not putting an effort to make somebody who's traveling from Cape Town to Polokwane to watch your team, and then he's putting more effort, but not you. That to me is insane. I don't understand that. It is because of people they don't have the ambition for their team. The only ambition is to say let's stay in the PS because of our own benefit. That's the problem that I'm having. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them is because of that. Even in the lower leagues, the ABC Motsepe, the NFD, some of them they're running the teams just because when the taxmen come and then they say we are sponsoring 1, 2, 3. We are doing this. They're running away from tax. Some of them they're doing that. Some of them there's sponsors which come behind the closed doors, washing money because of the teams and all that. You know, that to me is money laundering, and there's money being involved most of the time. You can't tell me that somebody is running a team. He doesn't have a sponsor, but he's running a team out of the grant from the PSL, and then he has all the players, 32 players, and then he can pay the technical team, including the players, without this. There's something behind. Always there's something behind. Every time there's something behind. If you can really investigate, we'll find it, that there is something behind. So most of the teams, they're not there just for the ambition of winning the league, ambition of taking the teams from A to B. No, they're there just for their own benefit. That's the problem I'm having. And I wish in the future the people who run the clubs are the people who love soccer. Because without the love of soccer and you love money, there's no way that that team will be successful. Hence today there is no competition. There is nothing. Some of the teams, they don't even have scouts to go and look for players, but they say they're running the team. How did you structure everything, and then you forget the most important part of the team, which is scouters? Because the most important thing that will bring sponsors to you is the performance in the field of play. It is not you sitting there in that office and then writing and all those things. It's not all about that. It's about when you go and propose for sponsorship. The first thing first, you have to distribute to say this team has been in top 3 past 5 seasons.
Nazo.
First seasons have been in top 3, top 2. Now, you know what? This is what I want. That is all the way, because the end product is beautiful. But if you just come in there and play, get 5-0, 10-0, and then you find relegation at the end, and then you come back next season, you fight in relegation. To me, it doesn't make sense. What are you there for? Why can't you give others a chance to play there? Simple as this. Sell the status. But it's because of money laundering, washing of money, running away from tax, all those things, all those points are there. If you can tick all of them, they have that thing of running off from tax, money laundering, sponsorships, black sponsorships. Let me call it black because we don't know them. But you're getting sponsors to pay players. You're getting sponsors to pay even referees at the end of the season, to pay 30,000 rands to the referees to for you to survive. But let me not go there, because one day I'll be arrested. Thanks so much, man.
Baronza. Simple closing statements for today.
My brother, mina angifuni ukunamba kakhulu noma mhlambe to elaborate more. The thing is, to your questions, just to summarize them, the answer, all of you. The problem is that, as I said before, it's the seriousness. You know, if maybe all the clubs they can do introspection, especially the one that run by the families, the one that run by the families, just to do introspection. Uzinuka amakhwapha, check ukuthi yiphi indlela esasiyenzile yasebenzela before, yini lengasasebenzeli now. In order to go back to where we were before, what must we do? So we go back to the drawing board. Who to hire? Who to fire? Who to put it on a hold, or who to sustain? To know this one must sit and learn for the future. What you see, what the Sundowns did, they just like they took the risk, and that risk worked for them. If all the teams, for an example, if maybe Arrows, Royal AM, Kaizer Chiefs, then we talk about those 3. If maybe they can just hire the right managers, go outside, go to Europe, and look for the right guy. Who knows, who are on the field even today, risk. They say, we're going to give you the amount that you wish for this period of time. Come, work for us. We want to do this. Then they tell him to the mandate. Then they give him the freedom. You'll be surprised, my brother. Tomorrow, Kaizer Chiefs will be back to its glory days and will be number one in Africa. Kaizer Chiefs has all their resources, especially Kaizer. They have all their resources. They are game. Everything is. It's like you go to Europe. If maybe one of the teams in Europe, if you go to Motaung, then what's the problem? The problem is the management. They've got the right facilities, right resources, but the wrong management. Change the management, you will be blown. To all the teams, in order to be successful, you need to have the facilities that are correct. Mamantu and Van Andy, they must sit down and plan. What do we need? The right facilities, not hire, just build it like Kaizer did. He built the empire from the basis, but that empire will be demolished or destroyed by Inganza and naye for not seeing the truth. Esemethweni yakho ukuthi actually akusebenzi ngey'ngane zakhe. If he sees what it doesn't work, can go back to the drawing board, hire the right people. I'm telling you, Kaizer Chiefs will be flying. That's the only one. The right facility, the right management, everything will go smoothly.
Okay. No. Ngiyabonga Sipho. Thank you for joining me. Thank you to the panel that joined. Look, guys, that's why all I'm saying, guys, is I think what tends to happen is that when we speak about these things, they get boiled down to simple stuff. I'm sure there's challenges. I'm sure there's things that are stopping them. And I'd love one day I'll get an owner here and we can speak about these things. But I think the question boils down for me to, are the clubs the best that they can be? Are the clubs doing everything they can to be the best that they can be? Yes, things are different. Some clubs need to look at different ways. Some clubs may have different goals or whatever. But are you being the best person that you can be? I remember I said this when we spoke about player signings, right? You've gotten rid of a very good player, sold them to Sundowns or whatever. Now you're looking at your team and you're trying to replace, and it's going to cost you as much to replace that player as it would have to keep them, for example, right? Is that a good decision? When you hire a coach, there's a coach that you wanted. That coach might be expensive, but now you're going to pay the same amount of money to get to find three of the coaches. You're going to pay for three coaches in a row trying to get to that one instead of just going there. There's questions we need to ask about the growth of our league. Is this league the best league that it can be? So does it mean that everybody have the facilities? Does it mean that we're developing the right way? Does it mean that we're making the right choices, right? And the sad part about our league right now is that the gap between number one and the rest is crazy, right? The gap between Sundowns and Pirates is already big. Just even in the league, 16 points, it's big, right? And those are the teams, Abo Pirates, Abo Chiefs, Abo Supersport, who are meant to be a lot closer to Sundowns. But now it seems as though our league goes Sundowns, then everybody is just on the same level. Whether you've got facilities, whether you don't have facilities, you can't even count on some of the teams that have these things to beat teams that don't. So what are we doing, right? So for me, I just want us also to just broaden our thoughts about this football that we watch. Broaden our thoughts past coaches, guys. Coaches have responsibilities. But you see, these people are the people that decide things. These are the people that you look at. I will never blame a coach for being signed. I've said this before and I'll say it one more time. If Chiefs were to come to me right now and say, Tsepokie contract to coach Kaizer Chiefs, best believe I'm signing that thing. Yes, I'll hold my tactical bag, but then you'll have to look at Chiefs and say, Mara, that guy does a show on TikTok. Why would you guys hire a guy that does a show on TikTok? What type of goals do you have? What are you guys trying to achieve? What are you guys trying to do? Why are we not seeing better, you know? When we're not seeing better, what are the teams doing to change that? I hate to use Chiefs all the time, but Kaizer Chiefs is my team. It's 8 seasons. At some point during the 8 seasons, you'd imagine that someone would have woken up. And a lot of these teams are business people. If you ask them how they run their actual businesses, if somebody messes up, if every season we're fighting to keep above board, to stay above, they'd fire that person quickly. Ask the owners, ask some of these guys that are up here. They'd fire the person immediately. But then why then in the club is it not happening? Why then in the club are you underperforming for so long, but it's okay? You know, you don't have a sponsor for so long, but it's okay. You don't have facilities for so long, but it's okay. You don't have this, you don't have that, you don't have that, you don't have that, you don't have that. How come, man? Why aren't we asking them these questions? But anyway, hopefully one day I'm going to try my best to try get an owner or a CEO or somebody to come and explain. Maybe there's things we don't understand and we don't see as fans, right? Maybe there's other things that come into this. Maybe it's not as simple as we're speaking about, as we did with the coaches, where when Coach Busmuzi came on, he taught us a lot about what happens in the back and things like that. So let's see if we can't get that. Big team. You can't bring in 14 new players every season and expect new results. Jongi, that's what I'm trying to say. And that's a cost. So if I was a very good business person, 14 players that I'm bringing in every season is 14 new salaries, signing bonuses, transfer fees in some cases, this, that, that. Is that good business? Then I can't sell them later on. Is that good business? You know, but anyway, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys tonight. 7:30, we're going to be covering the Pirates match. So I'm going to be here. It'll be a watch along. The watch along does not show anything. You're not going to see the game. It's us having conversations during the game. I just want to make sure people understand that. So guys, please, if you haven't followed, please follow. And also, please support me on the other platforms, Facebook, YouTube. The links are in my profile right now. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to the panel. Thank you to the commenters. Thank you to Kumo for the gifts. Thank you to Lani for the gifts. Thank you, Togwane, for the gifts. It really does mean a lot. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. Tonight, 7:30. Bye, guys. Facebook, thank you also so much for joining me. I'll see you guys 7:30 tonight.